the maidens of the air, of springs, dells, swamps, etc., are beneficent beings, and were often invoked for extinguishing fire and cooling burns. The four anonymous maidens first mentioned are perhaps the Lunatars. Four maidens, three celebrated daughters, were formerly mowing grass on a misty cape in a foggy Iceland and making it into hay. After spreading it out, a fiery Tursas from Turjaland came and burned it to ashes. It happened opportunely that they were short of ash and in need of lye to wash the head of the sun's son. But before they could collect the ash, a knot whisked it away to the banks of a holy stream, and from it a splendid oak sprang up. In another version, the four maidens, a tripod of brides, are making hay with the boy from Pohjola, or an eagle from Turja came and burnt the hay, put the ash into his wallet and carried it to Lapland, where it was sown in black mud, and from it sprang a huge oak. Again, four maidens find a sapling oak and plant it in an island formed where 3 rivers had flowed from a tear shed by Kytöläinen. In a charm against injuries from fire, Ismo, one of the daughters of the air, is asked to come with speed of thought and pour herself out like a foam upon her son's evil work and throw water from her apron on the burns. Nunnus, or Munnus, of the daughters of the air is requested to bring frost and ice, as there is frost enough in the air to freeze the fingers of an exorcist and allow him to handle fire and hurt. After Ukko had struck fire in the sky and put it into a golden bag, he gave it to an air maiden to rock, who after Ukko had struck fire in the sky and put it into a golden bag, he gave it to an air maiden to rock, who carelessly let it fall to the earth. A holy maiden on a cloud, a woman, Kapo, on the rim of a rainbow, with a golden box under her arm and a golden wing in her hand, wiped away the pain caused by burns and solved the injuries of fire. A maiden standing by a little pond in a drop of water in a cloud carries slush, solved the injuries of fire. A maiden standing by the little pond in a drop of water in a cloud carries slush and ice in her arms, with which she extinguished fire and cooled the burns it had caused. Again, in order to extinguish fire, an exorcist says he will raise up Sumutar, daughter of Mist, the poorly woman, from the swamp, and she will repair the injury done. In the next example, the character of the air maiden changes, though she still belongs to Cloudland. A little girl, a woman, Kapo, appeared on the edge of a rainbow, and while smoothing her hair, the milk in her breast overflowed, fell on a honey-dropping meadow, and from it salves and ointments are obtained. In the next 2 examples, her function is entirely different. A maiden lives in the air, on the edge of a little cloud, with a skein of veins on her lap and a roll of skin under her arm. She let them fall onto the earth, and from the bits of skin are taken to place on wounds from the tooth of a wolf or the claws of a bear. A maiden above the air, from the middle of the sky, is made of veins through the bones and joints, to lengthen short veins, shorten toes that are too long and ardent, and arrange them in their proper places. Then with a needle and silk thread she is to stitch up ends of the veins. These last 2 air maidens cannot be very different from Suonetar, where the beauteous woman of veins, Suoni, the beautiful Suonetar, who spins veins from a golden tuft on a copper-spinning rock and weaves a cloth of veins, is invoked to approach and tie up the ends of broken veins. An exorcist requests a maiden to rise from a dell, from inside a frosty spring, with her clothes all over frost and rime, in order to gap fire's mouth and weigh down the head of Panu. A fair, clean-faced girl is desired to rise from a dell, from the corner of a swamp, and bring some cooling stuff to lay upon a burn. A frosty maiden, an icy girl crouching at the mouth of a frosty spring with a golden ladle in her hand, is invoked to throw water upon burns. In a charm to excite love, a grey-eyed maiden is besought to rise from a spring and help a darling wife. She is to fetch water from the spring of love, that the wife may wash her baby, her little bullfinch, and make it very beautiful, so as to admired by everyone. In a charm to fortify water and give it virtue, a slender-fingered maiden is invoked to rise from a spring or from the gravel, and to fetch energetic, serviceable water from Jordan, in which Christ was baptized. Lastly, a maiden from a dell, from the humid hearth, or a warm maiden from a spring, blue socks, from a swamp, a swarthy girl with a shaved head and skinless teeth was holding a copper box containing a golden comb. One of the teeth of the comb fell out, and from it sprang a splendid oak, the head of which seized the sky, and its branches held the clouds. The Mist and Fog Maidens differ considerably from their sisters of the air. The Mist and Fog Maiden and the Air Maiden Auteretar is asked to sift down mist and fog to prevent an enemy seeing, either to attack or to escape. The Maid of Mist and Fog is invited to clip wool from a rock and make a shirt of mist, a copper cloak, which an exorcist can wear day and night as a protection against sorcerers. With epithets of a leaf bud, ship-borne yarn, dressed in a fine linen, she is invoked to scatter fog from a sieve before the wild animals of the forest, when they approach a hunter, so that he may have time to get his bow ready. Fire is the offspring of Höyhenes, of the Lunatars, Fire's daughter, of Lemmes, of the Lunatars, who gave birth to her child in the sea. She could not hold or touch it, and from that she knew it must be fire. Höyhenes of the Lunatars is invoked with Nunnus, mentioned above, to bring frost and ice to freeze an exorcist and allow him to handle the fire without hurt. Lunatar, the best of girls, is asked to come and quench a fire by putting it into her clothes and keeping it safe there. An anonymous maid of fire is desired to extinguish fire and repair Panu's work. She is to bring frost, ice, and iron, hell to apply upon the burns. If that is not enough, she is to poke a heifer's hide into fire's mouth, or throw it over Panu's head. The maid of pain and sickness, Kivutar, in spite of her name, is always invoked as kindly, benevolent personality. Kivutar has a kettle, the daughter of Väinö, in a pot, in which she boils pains on the heel of pain, and then flings them into a hole 9 fathoms deep, so that they cannot possibly escape. The vehement maid of Kipula, sitting on a speckled stone, spins pains on a copper spindle, winds them into a ball and hurls them into a sea. The good mistress, Kivutar, the distinguished Vammotar, daughter of wounds, is asked to take a feather, sweep away wounds, to put them into her glove, which she is then to throw down on the hill of pain, on which is a big stone. Then she is to break the stone, to poke the glove inside and roll it into the depths of the sea. The lovely old wife of pains, the good mistress Kivutar, is requested to come and see the sufferings in a human body and make them cease. She is to wrap them up in a bundle and throw them into a mountain cleft, into a blue stone, into a liver-colored chink, where they will never be heard again. Kirsti, the maid of pains, sits on a stone of a pain where 3 rivers flow, grinding the stone of pain, twirling the hill of pain. She is asked to gather the pains into a hole of a blue or a speckled stone, and then roll them into the water. An exorcist wishes that certain pains may be shot down on the pillow of Päivätär, the Maid of Swellings, Kulatar, the active girl, the packer-up, is desired to pack up her packages, to remove her needles and monstrous things, and take them to an apple or an oak tree. The beautiful old mother of pains, the great mistress of the hill of pain, the old maker of salves, that makes the best of magic cures, is requested to try it if certain ointments are good, and if so, to bring them and anoint a sick man's wounds. It is only when we come to origins that the old wife or daughter of pain and sickness is regarded as an evil spirit. Inflammatory wounds result from the fire that fell from the fiery horn which Kivutar, the old wife of pain, was carrying. The daughter of pain, the daughter of death, fell asleep on a meadow, was made pregnant by an east wind and gave birth to a snake, and the daughter of pain and Tuoni's son are the parents of snails. Thank you so much for listening. I have a new course/lecture series on mermaids in Finnish mythology. If you would like to deepen your knowledge, you can check out that course. People don't always know that I keep courses in Finnish folklore, so I shall try to mention them more often. You can find my courses at fairychamber.gumroad.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my name there is @fairychamberart. Have a great day. Bye!